Beep, beep. Every single time I go to the gym, I see people do this exercise, and it's dumbbell kickbacks. Check it out. I'm gonna show you guys in this video why that exercise is suboptimal. Then I'm gonna show you guys some exercises that you can do that are way more efficient. Okay, disclaimer. Look, I'm probably gonna read the comments, you're doing this wrong, or this workout actually works for me, I can feel my triceps. Well, check it out. If it does, then go right ahead. Any exercise that you do that you can feel and connect with and you enjoy doing it, keep on doing it. I'm dead serious. My job is just to give you guys another option of other exercises that just might be that much better, more efficient. Having said that, this is why dumbbell kickbacks aren't that effective or efficient. Right? There's a couple ways we can load the muscle. There's a couple ways. One, gravity. Basically, if I take this like this and I just kind of drop it, it goes right down, right? So if I'm over top of it, lifting it, there's resistance, and if I'm underneath it, pushing it adds resistance. If we use a band, resistance can be in any direction, depending on where it's at, where you place it. It can be horizontal, it can be vertical, it can be on an angle. We have resistance. As long as this thing's attached to something, there's resistance. And again, if I'm underneath it, there's resistance, 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 resistance. And underneath it, there's resistance, 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 resistance. So for the sheer reason why dumbbell kickbacks are not a good exercise for you, because it doesn't work with gravity. So we're looking at triceps and what they actually do. Triceps do elbow extension. So for me to straighten my arm, my tricep needs to activate. Now if I was pulling something down, like a resistance band or a cable, it works pretty well. If I get myself in this position where I'm in a hinged position, I have support here and my arm's back this way, and I do a little bit of a dumbbell row to get my arm in that position. If you look at it right now, my triceps do this. My triceps can extend my elbow and pushing it out this way. It's gonna push out this way. When I grab the dumbbell and I pull it up, there's absolutely no resistance in my tricep at all. The resistance comes into play as soon as I get to around here. Once their weight is actually coming down. Once gravity actually affects this lift from this portion. If you think about it, being this way, gravity can only really work against this lever here is if my hand is like this extended. So full extension, gravity is working. My triceps are firing off. And then I let it down, and right about here, I can almost hold my tricep here for a long time. There's no more resistance from here. There's resistance from here and all the way to here. From here to here, there is absolutely no resistance at all. So for about 3/4 of your rep, there's no resistance, period. That's it. Like there's no other way to break that thing down. Like I can argue till I'm blue in the face, but like if I look at this and I show you guys, I'm just showing you that right now, the only time that gravity works is when I'm actually doing the row to go to the position. Now my lats and my tears are actually working. So my rear delts to hold this thing up in this position, my traps for scapular retraction, it's all there. For me to extend my elbow, now it's on. From here to here, my elbow's not doing anything. My tricep, from here to here. This is where the load is effective in the tricep. Hey guys, check it out. Everything I'm talking about in this video, I go into depth with my one-on-one coaching, and guess what? It's a lot of this in my ebook as well too, so grab the ebook. Grab my copy of my ebook. Now back to the show. Now, very, very simple way to make this effective. I'm gonna show you guys right now before we can do the other movements. Take a band, but just to kind of show you an idea. Now right now, there's resistance on this band. It's pulling back this way. If I take the band out like this and I pull it back, it works. If I lift it up and drop it, it's not gonna do anything. So we have resistance here. Now taking that same movement, I'm gonna choke up a bit, bend down a bit. The resistance band's already pulling me here. So I have to create shoulder extension. And guess what? My tricep actually aids shoulder extension. So once I'm already here, my tricep and my teres major minor are active. Then I'm gonna row up here. And even now when I row, my elbow's even further away from this point. So it's already giving me resistance from the rested point. Now for me to start here, there's already resistance. And for me to go from here all the way out, there's resistance the entire time, even at my resting spot. For me to hold the weight here, it's constantly pulling me in this way. So this is when this movement actually makes sense, is when there's tension pulling you from this way. If you're just using a dumbbell, dumbbells, all weights, all of these weights only go in one direction, down, that's it. It's gonna go anywhere else. If I drop this thing, and it goes that way, y'all better start saying your prayers because, Jesus might be coming back or something. I don't know, because if I just drop this, dumbbells only go down. You pick them up and push things down. Here's my Arnold. That's my Stallone. Down. And another way we can make this effective is literally coming over to the cable machine, doing basically the same thing I did with the resistance band. So if you're at home and you don't have cables, you can use that at home, resistance bands. And if you're at the gym, and you have a cable machine, if you're gonna do kickbacks, you're gonna do them this way because this makes sense. Because again, this is going this way, it's pulling you back. So for me to come here and I can just kind of sit this way here, let it walk out a little bit. I'm gonna walk out a slight bit here and there's a resistance already pulling me here. I've used my triceps and my teres major minor for shoulder depression and extension. I'm gonna hinge myself back, it's still pulling me in, right? And then we're just gonna we're gonna row up, still here, and I can put my hand here for one, and now I'm just pushing this thing back. And I'm getting resistance directly on the tricep. And the best thing about this too is the entire exercise, the entire set, my triceps engaged, and I can definitely fatigue the muscle as long as I possibly can to get a really, really, really good pump without worrying about, just getting that 1/4 of the movement. That's why you can make that more optimal. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. So really good exercise that I would definitely replace over that. Now if you're in a pinch and you want to do it and this is your favorite exercise to do, whatever, that's fine, keep doing it. No problem at all. But if you want to add a couple more exercises to your tricep arsenal, stick around for more. A lot of you guys watched the video and not subscribed, so do boy a favor, subscribe to the channel and also hit that post notification button as well too, so the next time I put a video, you'll be the first ones to get it. And guys, hopefully by now you like the video. So if you do, hit the like button. Back to the show. Okay, so a very easy one you guys have probably done before or seen a million times is cable tricep extensions. Whether using the rope, V-bar, straight bar, or easy bar, regardless of whatever, I'm gonna show you guys the same setup which will be consistent with all three. Now I'll kind of give you guys a quick rundown of each way to use these properly. For the first part, this here, let's just make sure we get this clear, okay? This thing here is not for you guys to take this and just spread it down. It's not for this. This is not, the purpose of this rope isn't to spread it, okay? Right? Once I do tricep extension, once my elbows extend, there's nothing else, spreading it more is not gonna do anything else. Neither will making your wrist do this. I've said this a few times. Your wrist will not do anything. Look at my tricep here, right? Watch, check it out. See this? I'm using my wrist. I'm moving my wrist as much as I can. Do you see my tricep doing anything? So see my wrist here, right? I'm doing this, I'm flexing it. I'm gonna give you guys a side profile. My tricep is completely flexed and I'm moving my wrist. Can anyone see anything past my elbow moving? No, right? So you do not need to do this. What this is a awesome little piece of attachment here. Well, this is an awesome old school attachment that allows you to take your hands in a hammer grip, neutral grip, and to keep it aligned with your shoulders. So if I go like this, right? So if you can see this, now I can have a neutral grip and I can do the exercise or do the full range of motion naturally, right? My wrists are, nothing is changing about this at all. This continues, this stays the same the whole way through. None of this changes. My wrist doesn't change. I'm just pulling it down, and that's what the rope allows me to do. You don't have to do this at all. Now, switch to this, same with this. Basically just like the rope, but now it's in a fixed position. Now your hands are basically stuck in this position here where they're slightly inside. So it's gonna be a little more help when it's a little closer and you can push down a little more from here. And then obviously with the straight bar, you're basically in this pronated position and you can definitely have a couple different ways of holding this, which you can hold from here, 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 and if you want to as well, you can hold from here. Either way, when we're doing these. So basic setup again, when we're coming here up to the cables. We're gonna walk up to the cables. We're gonna be like a shoulder width apart. We're gonna grab the cables, right? Wrap this in this manner, the rope. And we're going to just keep our elbows close into our body. We're gonna pull the weight down like full extension. We're gonna get ourselves set from here, right? I'm gonna push this down. I'm gonna set myself walk back a bit and I'm gonna keep all the weight in my entire foot and I'm gonna hinge my butt back a bit. I don't wanna sit my knees forward like this. I don't wanna do this because I see this all the time. This is really weird. It's like, oh, I'm really working my triceps. Right? Like push the butt back. We're gonna be in a hinged position from here. You can see how I do this. My hands are already here. My elbows are already tucked aside. As soon as I hinge back, you can see the weight already coming down. Now from here, I'm gonna make sure my elbows stay pushing to the floor. We're gonna protract so that when we do the full extension, my finishing point ends up here and not back here because the shoulders are moving so much because you're letting them freely move here. We wanna basically create shoulder depression, pushing elbows down. So when we're in that fixed position, whether you're using the rope, the straight bar, or the V bar, we're here, pulling through our core, slight bend in the knees, hinging back a bit. I'm not saying do this. I'm saying like literally, I'm standing up straight and now I'm just doing this. I'm in an athletic position. That's it. And I keep my elbows in front, and when I finish my rep, I finish here, and the load stays on my tricep the entire time. Now, if you have a problem or an issue connecting this way, there's a couple tricks you can do. Turn around, lean on the back, let this thing split you right up the back of your spine, right? You're gonna sit down a little bit here. You can, even if they have maybe the pad, some gyms have the pad in the back, or you can use a bench. Sit down a bit, keep your core engaged, feet are still the same. Feet are gonna be a little shoulder width apart from floor to core, tight from here. And then I don't wanna tuck my elbows in here because it seems to be jammed up in my face. So I'm gonna do the same thing I was when I was facing, which I'm gonna shift my elbows forward and protract. So we're gonna push them here and down, so when I finish my rep, that rope's not in my face the entire time and stays here. And from here, again, shoulder depression, so we keep our elbows locked in and our shoulders locked in, and we're pressing away. And you see how my shoulders don't rise up, we don't do this, or doesn't come back, I don't do this and it comes down here like this. We wanna keep our elbows in a fixed position the entire time doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an advanced technique when you're doing this, and it's called proper cheating. So, how to get a little more out of these reps. A few things you can do, especially when using the rope. You can push your hands together and keep them from here, literally keep them pressed together, and you'll find yourself a little more strength when you're pulling down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend the rep a little bit by using a little bit of a swing. So we're doing this and getting down to those harder reps, and we're in that position here, and we're pressing from here. We can let this come up a slight bit. Our elbows come up. Now, don't get me wrong for my elbows slightly coming up as my traps elevating. There's a big difference. What I'm doing is I'm taking my elbow and I'm driving them to the floor when I'm doing the exercise like this. Once it gets harder, I'm gonna let my elbows come up this way, and then I'm gonna use shoulder depression or my teres major and minor and my tricep to help with extension of the shoulder and then extension of the elbow. So what we're doing is from here, if you watch closely, I'm pressing down and then I let it come up a bit. It's a little bit of swing, but you see how my traps stay down. Remember, I'm a little separation here. I'm creating a little bit of shoulder extension and elbow extension. So from here and press. Don't let it do this. There's a big difference between this and this. The same thing can be done if we're doing crossbody or just unilateral tricep extensions. You can do the same thing here as well as when I'm pulling from here, we're down, my elbows pushing to the floor, and then I'm letting it pull here. You see how my elbow's coming up a little bit here, right? I'm still driving it down and extending. And you're creating a little bit of a stretch and a little momentum to pull right back down. But we don't want our triceps yanking up and then doing this on the way down. A couple more exercises that I like doing as well too when it comes to, being a lot more optimal than doing kickbacks. You guys can kind of see the similarities between all exercises. It's basically the same as a kickback, only we're going from different angles and we're optimizing those angles to put the most amount of load on the triceps. We've done bilateral work with the cable, with the rope, the V-grip, and with the straight bar. Now again, talking about unilateral work, I like doing them one arm tricep cable extensions. Same rules apply. Only for this way, you can come a little closer. I like to hold this up here if I need to. Watch your fingers, please, right? But from here, basically letting ourselves pull an elbow in front of us, and we're letting that thing drive straight down. We can go to the top of it a little more. We can approach this the exact same as doing the bilateral movements. So from here, elbow's gonna stay in front, and we're gonna push right down. Love doing this exercise because you can really isolate the crap out of your tricep and really give each arm the attention it needs. It's good to do things like this, unilateral work, because for me, my triceps, one tricep is bigger than the other. So I do like to, give some attention to the tricep that needs the most amount of work. For me, my shoulder has little issues in it, so this doesn't get as many reps as my left one can. So what I like to do is always adding in at least one unilateral movement within my triceps or biceps or chest, whatever and so forth. So again, doing this, the same thing, pulling elbow in from here and down. Now we can do the exact same thing here. We can spice it up a bit by doing crossbody. We're just gonna turn ourselves sideways, keeping ourselves protracted here. We're gonna make sure the bicep scoops underneath the chest, and we're gonna flex a little bit here to keep this elbow in that position here, bending over a slight bit here and letting it go across the body. Now when we're finishing this movement, is going to stay here, it's not gonna come out. So all we're doing is staying from here, using our chest as leverage, pushing in, sucking in, right? Pushing the elbow down, chest flexing the chest, the lats and the chest are fired off right now, and all we're doing is extending from the tricep. And really you can work this. You can see how this is very, very similar to doing extensions. Kickbacks. This is the same exercise. You're just loading the muscle a little different. And that's basically all it is. It's like just basically finding the movement that works best for you, that's gonna load the muscle the best it can. And just for me, overall, dumbbell tricep kickbacks don't work. Kickbacks do work, but it all depends on what you're using to make that kickback efficient. If you're using resistance band or cables, tricep kickbacks are a very efficient tricep isolating exercise. And it's just doing with the dumbbell just is at the bottom of the list. That is it for the jam today. Yeah. Hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do try any of these things out, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Become what that tell like it is, transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coaching, johnasheet.com. If you want to know more about my coaching, book yourself a 15 or 30-minute consult. At the end of that consult, I deduct it off any package that you pick. Also, hit the description below, guys, so those discount codes and promo codes that will save your life or change your life for the better, like Johnny10 for 10% off BlueStarNutraceuticals.com. Yes. Anyway, guys, add me on Instagram and TikTok. Send me your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips, and I will repost it for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace. Hey, still here. Shit. I'm flossing.
Yeah.
With weight.
Okay.
Oh.